over this Genesis 12 real quick. Because recently I heard, and y'all remember this when I was stuck having to go to church, but anyway, people will run the Genesis 12:3 to somehow purport that this has to do with salvation being extended to other nations. Now, upon review, it is true, but it's not how they try to link it to the covenant, because there's the covenant salvation, which is to Israel. But then right here, this is salvation it's a servitude salvation for other nations. It actually starts right here. So let's just get to it. It says, and I will bless them that bless you. This is talking about Abraham. See? Okay. So you know who the you is. And curse him that curses you. And in you, Abraham, shall all families of the earth be blessed. People think this blessing is the covenant. Even though it doesn't even say it, people guess that into this one sentence. Okay. Also, they ignore the first part. I will bless them that bless you and curse him that curses you. Because this is available, but there's a two side to this coin. You know what I'm saying? So this was also stated again to this man's children, primarily his grandson. Same book, Booyah, 28 and 14. Let's start at 13. And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh Elohai, your of Abraham, your father. That's the same Abraham we saw right there. And the Elohim of Isaac, because that's Abraham's son. The land whereon you lie, to you will I give it, and to your seed. Now the you and the your is Jacob, because that's the lineage, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And in your seed, Jacob, shall be as the dust of the earth. Not talking about color, because I know there's a doctrine where it relates to camps. I'm just getting on the Christian doctrine of this being covenant salvation. It has nothing to do with any covenant, okay? Extending to other nations. And you shall spread abroad to the west, to the east, to the north, and to the south. That's the four corners of the earth. And in you and your seed shall all families of the earth be blessed. Okay? So it's giving us a little bit more information, because in your seed shall all families of the earth be blessed. Just like we saw here. And in you shall all families of the earth be blessed. It's talking about a seed line. That's why it started with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Jacob's seed. Now, I recently did a Romans 9 video showing the tearing off of Abraham's seed, because it wasn't all of Abraham's seed. It's just Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and even a remnant of Jacob. It wasn't even all Jacob. So getting back to this, you see that it's talking about a blessing. It doesn't even mention all of these other people receiving any covenant or anything of that sort, but his seed, it blatantly says your seed will go to these four winds or four corners of the earth, blessing these other nations. Okay, that's the point. I'm not done, because there's more to it, because the story goes on and on. So we got that much right there. So now the same author, we're going to go to Moses. We're going to go to, get this thing out the way. Let's go to Deuteronomy. 30:3. Do I want to start at 2? Let's start at 3, okay. That then Yahweh Allahika will turn your captivity and have compassion upon you. This is a specific people. These words are being spoken to Jacob, or the children of Israel, okay? So, and will return and gather you from all nations whither Yahweh Lahika has scattered you. So this is a people being scattered to all the nations. Well, didn't we see in Genesis 28, your seed shall spread abroad, and in your seed shall all families of the earth be blessed. So we're getting little and little information as we go along and see what this is talking about. This seed, which is the seed of Jacob, which is the seed of Abraham, a fraction of that seed, will be among nations as captives, turning their captivity. It blatantly says that, and that they were scattered. That's how they're a blessing to these other nations, because they are captives for transgressing the covenant. But that's another story. I'm just lining this up. I haven't said a thing, but I've quoted everything, right? Turning, it blatantly says he will turn your captivity, having compassion upon you, and will return you and gather you from all nations. This is a sifting where he has scattered you. They were there because they were captives. Of course, if you're a captive to another nation, you're essentially blessing them. But these nations are not being blessed with any covenant of promise for salvation, but servitude. I haven't said a thing. It's in writing. You can't just isolate 12:3. Let me go there. You can't just isolate 12:3 and assume and insert the hell out of all nations and families of the earth getting this covenant salvation, where that's just, there's no duty to do that. It's not here. That would be what's the point of having a promise to pay somebody where then there's I just pay everybody? That's stupid. That's stupid. So let's get some more of this, right? So that's 29, or as you were, that's 30:3. Now let's go to Isaiah, because this keeps going on and on. We're just traveling through time, right? This is another video that I made talking about salvation. There's 2 types for 2 different groups of people. Again, Jacob 14. Start it from the top. For Yahweh will have mercy upon Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Okay, verse 2. Oh, and well, hold up. A lot of people would say this and pretend like people just transform like Optimus Prime into an Israelite. Never! You gotta stop running off with your imagination. So all it's saying is that they're gonna cleave or be attached to, but then this cleaving is further explained, so we don't assume people are magically transforming into Israelites. You feel me? Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. That's actually going to reveal how they're saved. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. We just saw that in Deuteronomy, that they're going to be sifted out of these nations, okay? I did not write. This man wrote this, not me. I haven't said a word. I'm reading the word, but I haven't said a word, okay? So, again, this is severing a specific people from many nations. Let's go. Right here. Same book, Isaiah 60 and 3. And the other nations or Gentiles shall come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising. See, this is two different colors, two different people groups. Two different colors, two different people groups, severing. One's gonna serve the other. Okay, the tide will turn. Okay, so 11, same chapter 60. Therefore your gates, Israel, shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day or night, that men may bring unto you the forces of the other nations, and that their kings may be brought. Okay, it's still a severing. There's no one nation under a groove getting down just for the funk of it. Nah, it's still two. Even though one's attached to another, there's still two for a specific reason. Verse 12, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish. Those nations shall be utterly wasted. If they're not willing to get down with the get down, then they gotta lay down. It's still two different people groups. And this all starts with Genesis 12 and 3, having nothing to do with any covenant's promise. Covenant promise has always been to Israel. You're going to inherit these nations. Verse 14, the sons also of them that afflicted you, still two different people groups, shall come bending unto you. And all they that despise you shall bow themselves down at the sole of your feet, and they shall call you the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. It's not the Holy One of all nations. There's an order here: the Most High, Israel, and then the other nations that choose to get down with the get down. The ones that didn't choose to get laid down. That's how they're saved. Our salvation is turning to the Most High in the first damn place. Okay? So when you, if this might be the long-winded version, quote unquote, but it's the truth in the word. You see what I'm saying? This is actually your gospel. This is your gospel right here coming to pass. Those that, to comfort those that mourn in Zion. That's the good news. Those to claim liberty to the captives. He has anointed me to preach the Besorah. That's gospel. The good news. Gospel. We know who the captives were because it said it all the way back in Genesis. We just covered it. When the tables turn, okay? To proclaim the acceptable year, okay? To appoint to them that mourn in Zion. It never changed. The Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Zion never changes. It never does. That's the gospel. This is it coming to pass. Ruling over other nations. And in righteous order under the Most High, because that's what this city of Yahweh, the city Zion. This is not rocket science or quantum physics. When you don't, Genesis 12, you don't put a chokehold on sentences and insert all families being blessed. Like, you would have to move the period out the way, add so many different words in there, like, which is the blessing of the covenant's promise. You're now becoming a liar. You feel me? But this is the beginning. It's technically, yeah, that is the beginning of the gospel right there. Then those tables will turn, and then there you go. That's your I want to say that's your first fruits and your ingathering right there. I want to see something too while I'm here. If I could remember where it was at. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. I think this one will do. This is all through the Bible, but it's like when people go to church, that church screws everything up, right? Micah 5 and 8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the other nations in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treads down and tears in pieces, and none can deliver. Your hand shall be lifted up upon your adversaries, and all your enemies shall be cut off. Is that remnant of Jacob? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. That's Romans 9. You got Abraham, and then through Isaac, so that's 7 sons being thrown off. Then Isaac had 2 sons, one son was thrown off, and it's Jacob. Well, even in Jacob, there's a fraction, only a remnant of Jacob. There's that tearing off. You're getting rid of those wicked Jakes. You feel me? It's, and then they're gonna be lifted up upon their adversaries, and their enemies shall be cut off. It's no different from Isaiah. It's the same thing. It never changes. When you get Christianity, it's oh well, forget about all that. It was wrong. It was wrong. My feelings are hurt. The truth is the truth, no matter if your feelings are hurt. The Most High does not care about how his creation feels. They have a duty. It is what it is. So we have Amos, right? Amos 9 and 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, because they're among all nations, blessing them because they're servants to these nations. Like as grain is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All sinners of my people, those wicked Jakes, shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Okay, so you have to basically forget about prophecy, or really the word of God, and just place your pastor above the word of God. To think that, yeah, this is a promise to Israel, but you know what? Yeah, it doesn't include everybody, so I'm going to disagree with God. You feel me? So that's all I have for now, as it is written, and I'm out.